Okay, so we've gone through a lot of things on the SimLab orientation videos. I wanted to briefly kind of go through kind of a general rule of thumb when you're in the SimLab. So first and foremost, you'll see that we have Zoom cameras in the SimLab. All of the SimLabs are equipped with Zoom cameras. We do record every single sim. It allows us to go back and look and see what we can do differently. It helps me remember if I need to replenish something or something like that. So remember that these are always running. Sometimes we have instructors who cannot be here, so they may zoom in from home and observe our sims. With the Zoom cameras comes the hanging microphones, and you can see that one right there. The microphones are awesome, but they are limited in their functionality because they are only going to listen to certain areas of the room. So if you are a very quiet speaker, you will have to speak up, and especially make sure that you manage your area in the SimLab and talk underneath the microphones. I do have like red check marks in the SimLab where there's not a hanging microphone, which means if you're over there talking right here on this red X, I won't be able to hear anything because there's not a microphone that's hanging right there. So just please speak up and don't take it personal if I'm constantly saying, hey, please speak up underneath the microphone, please, while you're talking to the patient or to me. The other thing is we have some policies here in the SimLab. When you come to SimLab, it is expected that you're going to be respectful and you're going to be punctual and nice. And the other thing is that you also are met with that same respect and everything back. So if you are late to sim more than 5 minutes, this will be hanging on the door. And that will mean that you are unable to attend the simulation. So unless you have already spoken to your instructor, not to another peer, only to your instructor, and they are aware that you are running behind or that you're not going to make it on time, you will not be allowed to come into the SimLab after 5 minutes have passed, okay? Also, it is expected that you come prepared to SimLab, so you need to make sure that you have done your prep work. Any prep work that is given to you by your instructor or me, please do it. It is like the test review that we got in 5th grade that said, hey, this is going to be on the test on Friday, and it was the test. Like the test review was the test. So make sure that you're looking at that prep work because it generally is your meds and stuff like that that you'll be expected to know when you come to simulation. The other thing about that is you need to come in clinical attire. So whatever you would wear to clinical is what you're going to wear to SimLab. Also, make sure that you have your stethoscope and a regular watch. No Apple Watches or smartwatches in the SimLab. If you don't have a watch, it will be hard to assess the patient when you have to count respirations and a heart rate. And then the other thing is, you know, this is a learning environment. And so we understand that you're going to experience things here that you have not been exposed to yet, maybe in clinical or with a patient. So we'd like you to meet us halfway. We're trying to simulate an experience for you so that you're better prepared for that when that experience happens in real life. And so I guess what I'm saying is make sure that you have an open mind when you come to SimLab, because we do the best we can to have pretend time down here for you, but not everything is going to be exact as it is in real life. So when we're going through that, we say when you're going through the motions, we want you to think out loud. We want you to talk about it. If you think that there's something that I would normally do in real life and I can't do that right now because it's a SimLab, then say it. And that way I know what you're thinking. If you're walking around the room because you're kind of having like a brain block and we don't know what, you don't know what to do next, if you don't say to me, Christy or Ashley, I have a sim question, or I'm drawing a blank, then you're just gonna look like you don't know what's going on, and I don't know how to read your mind. So then it's just gonna be a long time of us staring at each other. So it really helps if you explain to me what you need or what you're struggling with so that we can get through it together, because this is a learning experience. Just because it's a learning experience, we also want to make sure that you know that we say a lot that this is not a graded environment down here, meaning people think that they can come here and kind of goof off and be silly and everything like that. And we do I try to make things light down here, but my job is to make real experiences less of a sudden shock to you by easing you into them here first. And so that's what I do down here. I try to make it as realistic as possible. So sometimes I'm your patient. I'm talking for the simulators, and I'm going to be grumpy or grouchy or ornery, because that's what the role of the patient is. So please remember that, if you're talking to me as my provider, or as my nurse, or my EMT or whatever, treat me with respect, because I will match your energy. Okay? Definitely. I will match your energy. So treat me with respect. I'll treat you with respect. And then remember that just because you're told that things aren't graded down here, your preparation, your punctuality, your attitude, your behavior, your teamwork, how you talk to your peers and to your teacher and to me, all of that can be graded and critiqued for review down the road. So lastly, make sure that you never use pens in the sim lab. Only pencils and dry erase are allowed in the sim lab. And then no food or drink is ever allowed in the sim lab here, but you can bring food and drink into the conference room, and that will be in there at all times.